Alright, let's have a look at this dragon deck. Genre, yeah, let's go down. Let's see, special summon. Yep, definitely want special summons. Cool. Let's see, we want dragons. Obviously, yeah, need dragons. Let's see what we got here. Absolrouter, pretty good. Oblivion, nice. Crusadia Draco, yeah, that's good too. Yeah, cool. Destrudo, yeah, wait, what? Hey everyone, my name is Sean, and in today's video I'm very excited to talk about this card here, Destrudo, the Lost Dragon Fission. This card is insanely powerful, and I was so surprised when I realized that it was still legal and at free in Link Evolution. To give you a bit of background and context, this card is actually banned in the TCG, but it was banned right after this game was released for the April 2020 TCG format. Now, because Link Evolution was released a little bit before that, we are using the ban list from previously, which was January 2020, and also a combination of Japan's OCG ban list from that time as well. So Destrudo actually dodged the ban list, and having this card in a full format where Link monsters, your fusion monsters, XZ monsters, and synchro monsters are no longer bound to only summon to zones that Link monsters point to, it makes this card, or the potential of this card, rocket and go through the roof. So let's talk about what the card actually does. Destrudo is a level 7 Dark Dragon monster, and it is also a tuner. Now, why it is a high level tuner is this effect that makes it really appealing. If this card is in your hand or the graveyard, you can pay half your life points, then target one level 6 or lower monster you control. Special summon this card, and if you do, this card's level is reduced by the level of the targeted monster. Also place this card on the bottom of your deck if it leaves the field. You can only use this card's effect once per turn. This card is incredibly flexible. Being a dragon monster means there's a lot of support, being dark means there's a lot of support for it, but because you only need to have any monster on the field, you can pretty much use it in so many decks and get some benefit out of it. I want to demonstrate this by talking about how Destrudo works in different deck cores when you are breaking down your deck in terms of its quality. So I do this often when I do my deck building, and I break it down into starters, extenders, removal, defensive, and I used to call it bombs, I'm now calling it endgame cards, just because I think it's more clear on what that category is. Destrudo fits into every single one of these categories really well. Now, because he requires a monster to be on the field before you can use his effect, he is naturally an extender card, but there are many starter cards that support Destrudo quite well. You can add it to your hand by drawing it if your deck has a Lure of Darkness or even Sanguine. You can summon it directly to the field with Mystic Tomato, but ideally you want to get this card in the graveyard because then you can use it as a quote-unquote free resource, and the best card to do that with is Armageddon Knight, where you normal summon Armageddon Knight, send Destrudo to the graveyard, and then he is ready to go because you can use this effect from the grave. Dark Grepher works similarly, but then you've also got cards like Dragon Ravine, which is a field spell, Dragon Shrine, and Foolish Burial that can send it directly to the graveyard. And some of these other starters are even searchable with other cards like Reinforcement of the Army or Terraforming. It makes it so that it is very easy to access Destrudo, and you should always be able to do it every single game because there are so many ways you can start your engine off. In terms of extenders then, once you have your two monsters on the board, let's say Baby Dragon, because it doesn't matter really, and Destrudo, there are so many extender extra deck cards that you can go into to continue and further your plays. For example, Power Tool Dragon, Yahtzee, Christian Halki Fireback semi-summoned, Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spears, and even Union Carrier. I'm not going to go into all of these in detail because they're kind of deck specific on what your deck build is going to be, but I want to point out a few generic ones. For example, you can summon that Power Tool Dragon to add any equipped spell card from your deck to your hand, such as DDR, Living Fossil, or Smoke Grenade of the Thief. Or perhaps you're playing a link based strategy and you want to summon Liv, the World Keyblade Master, who can then search out and set World Legacy Succession, a Monster Reborn style card that summons to a zone a Link monster points to. It is very flexible in the decks it can be used for, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot more when I talk about the Guard Dragon combo when we talk about Dragon Link in the next video. Now, in case you don't want to go to extended cards, Destrudo can also summon out many removal monsters. If you want to blow up the field, you can summon that Black Rose Dragon and just do that. If there's a monster on the field that you want to get rid of, you can bounce it with Moonlight Dragon. If your opponent has Chaos Max on the field and you can't get around it because you can't destroy it or target it, you can still summon Cyber's Quantum Dragon, attack it, and it will return it to the opponent's deck, and then you can attack again with this monster. If it's a spell and trap card you want to get rid of, you can summon Wind Pegasus Agnista, who can blow up a spell and trap card on the field. Or maybe you want to use Link monsters and you want to go something generic like Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix, or even Predaplant Verti Anaconda, who can then send Neos Fusion to the graveyard to fusion summon Rainbow Neos, which can get rid of all your opponent's spell, traps, monsters, or graveyard cards. It is insane how flexible Destrudo can be and how many cards it can work with in terms of removal. But it also can be defensive as well. If you're going first, maybe you want to summon out something like FA Dawn Dragstar, a level 7 synchro monster who increases its attack equal to its level, so it comes out as 2100 attack. Then, anytime your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you can reduce its level by 2 to negate it. Now with 2100 attack and level 7, you get up to 3 negates out of this card if it survives on the board. So ideally you just summon it in defense and hope its 2000 defense will keep it alive, but it is just an additional threat. This also works really well with cards like Hieratic Seal the Heavenly Spears, which requires 2 dragon monsters to summon out into the field. Why I like this in particular is because Destrudo shuffles itself back into the deck once it leaves the field after its effect has been used. But then Hieratic Seal of the Heavenly Spears can bounce opponent's monster off the field and then summon it back to the field, so you can then use him again if that is what your strategy requires you or would like you to do. It is really flexible in that sense. Or you can just use it for things like IP Masquerena, which then during your opponent's turn can summon out the Nightmare monsters to pop a card on their field. I now want to talk about endgame strategies, and there are so many ways you can make many endgame boss monsters. Some of them we've already covered in other categories in this video already. I want to show you one in particular using Yahtzee Evil of the Yang, who I will read out its effect right now, but before we talk about this, I want to just talk about how flexible Destrudo is a little bit more. Destrudo can be used with so many cards as long as there's a monster on your field. It could be a token, it could be something like Cyber Dragon, which is a special summon. You could do all your Destrudo shenanigans and then normal summon another monster and keep on playing the game. It is very resilient and versatile, and I can't wait to kind of open the floodgates and experiment with how this card can be used. It literally is going to change pretty much almost every single one of my decks. Now, I want to go into a pre-recorded video now to show you how this can show something like a boss monster. But I want to read to you just these 2 cards because it is a pre-recorded video because I had to experiment a lot to get the right situations to set it up. But I want to show you what these cards do. So the cards I'm going to be focusing on is Yahtzee Evil of the Yang, a level 7 synchro monster that says you can target 1 Yang monster and 1 card your opponent controls. That's required, so that's why I pre-recorded it, and destroy them. Then when this card is destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can summon a worm monster from your deck in defense position. And we're going to be summoning out the card Mare. You'll see what it does in the video. It will allow you to get some tokens, but we'll show it more in the footage. So let's go over to that now. Okay, so I'm going to show you how Destrudo works to use the Yahtzee Mare combo. And we have a level 5 monster on the board. Like I said, it doesn't matter. As long as it can be used with Destrudo, it will work. So I'm going to use Dragon Shrine, send Destrudo to the graveyard, and then Destrudo will be able to use its effect from the graveyard. I'm just going to get rid of this quick play spell card because it's going to keep on asking me. And now we're going to carry on our play into Destrudo. So Destrudo targets the monster on the field, and then halves your life points to summon itself to the field. If somehow your opponent removes the target off the field, Destrudo will still resolve, but it will come out as a level 7 monster instead of whatever level it was supposed to be modified. So it still, in a way, can fulfill its effect. We then summon out Yahtzee Evil of the Yang because we have a 5 and a 2, and then we're going to use its effect to destroy itself and 1 monster your opponent controls. Now because Yahtzee was destroyed by an effect, you can use its effect to summon out a worm monster from your deck, and then we go into Mare. Mare can only be summoned by the effect of a worm type monster, so Yahtzee is a perfect target for it. But when you have Mare on the field, you can use this effect up to 3 times every turn, and that is you can reduce its level by 1 to summon a level 1 Mare token to the field, and this is what's going to let us swarm the field with a couple of monsters in order to get into our boss monsters. So In order to do this combo right, or the most best way, you can do it many different ways. You can change this up a bit. You don't have to use exactly these monsters, but I like these ones because they have monsters of different names, and these will all become effect monsters because a lot of the boss monsters want effect monsters and not normal monsters. So first we're going to use one token to summon out Link Spider with an arrow pointing down, and then at this point we're going to now summon out Link Karibo. Now we want to use Link Karibo because now we want to have a choice. Either A, we can go into Security Dragon, or B, we can go into Nightmare Phoenix. Nightmare Phoenix requires an effect monster, different monster with different names, so we can't use 2 tokens. We want to use one as Link Karibo. Now, your choice is really up to you here, depending on the situation you're in. Security Dragon can bounce a card from the field, a monster from the field, back into the hand, whereas Nightmare Phoenix can discard a card to destroy a spell and trap card. And both of these cards prefer to be co-linked in order to use their effect. So that is why we had Link Spider in the extra monster zone, in order to have them both co-linked from top to the bottom. But then we're going to use Link Karibo's effect to get rid of the last token, so now we have 3 effect monsters on the board. Remember, we started this with just Destrudo and any monster, and so far we've removed away 2 cards from our opponent, and now we can summon out any of these cards. Appaloosa, Borosaur, Zero Boros, Bomber Dragon, there's Borolo, there's other examples. Mech Knight Avramax can be summoned out of this way. The options really are quite diverse in what you can go to with just this one combo here. For the purpose of this video, we're going to go into Borosaur, but this is where the combo really ends. The rest is up to you and how you want to do it. So guys, I really hope I've been able to demonstrate to you how well and how amazing Destrudo works, and hopefully broken down a little bit about the potential of this card. It literally opens the gates for so much variation and so many different ways to play. As always, I just want to say to you guys, thank you for watching this video. The next video I'm going to be putting out is a Dragon Link video, where you're going to see a little bit of the Destrudo shenanigans in that. But as always, thank you much for watching. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I love reading your comments. I really, really do. And also, if you want to subscribe, if you're not a subscriber, I will really appreciate that. And also, if you can leave a like as well. Thank you as always for watching. I'll see you soon. Take care.
Nice.